Well, happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to My Digital Farmer. This is Corinna Bench. I'm the founder of this group, the founder of MyDigitalFarmer.com, also the owner of Shared Legacy Farms, CSA, out here in Elmer, Ohio. For all of you who are new to the group, I just wanted to say hi. And welcome to the Build Your First Email Nurture Challenge. We are starting that today, and it's going to run for 10 days. So this is the opening video instructional tutorial. I'm going to walk you through what a nurture sequence is and kind of how they work. And by the end of 10 days from now, you're going to have your very first email nurture sequence written and ready to deploy. At least that is my goal, and I think that is totally doable. I'm going to walk you through what you need to know today, and I'll let you know what we're going to start working on tomorrow. Okay, you are going to have some action items to work on for every day of the challenge. I won't be showing up every day, so don't freak out, but there is going to be some homework. All right, so let's get started. I hope this is super helpful. First of all, I want to make sure you know about my free gift to you. It's my actual email nurture campaign, the one that I've been using for the last 3 years. I do tweak it every year a little bit, but this is the one that's being used right now in my own funnel. And you can grab that at mydigitalfarmer.com/nurture. Now, don't be freaked out. There's like 10 or 12 emails in my nurture campaign. You do not need that many. We're going to write 4. Originally, I said 5. I'm going to make you write 4 because I think that's totally doable in 10 days. And just start there. And you can always add more as you get better at this. But that campaign, that freebie that I'm giving you is going to give you some really good insight into what the goal even is, like what one could look like. You can see ideas for the types of content that I'm talking about in those emails. You can try to write in that similar style. So hopefully that's going to be really helpful for you. So if you don't have that, you can go to mydigitalfarmer.com/nurture. All right, Stephanie, I'm excited that you're here. Thanks for tuning in live. This is awesome. All right, so let's talk about what is a nurture sequence. So there's a few kind of bullet points that I have here on my notes, and I have a little prop that I'm going to use today too to kind of help you visualize it. First of all, a nurture email sequence is a relational type of email. So there's 3 different categories of email. There's the promotional email where you're trying to sell something. There's the relational email, like we're talking about today, where your goal is really just to like develop a relationship and nurture kind of a trust factor. And then there's the transactional email where somebody gets like a confirmation notice that something happened, right? And so those are kind of the 3 different styles that we typically talk about in the email marketing space. The relational email sequence is a sequence. So they are coming in a very specific order. As you write them, you're thinking about what should go first, second, third, and fourth. They're also automated. Okay, so this is not something that you write in Gmail because you cannot keep track of like, oh, who got the first one, and now I have to go back and like make sure that that person gets the second one 5 days later. This is a automated sequence, and usually they drip out every 7 days, but you could do it shorter than that if you wanted to go a little faster. It's kind of up to you, but typically the standard is that maybe once every 7 days someone is getting something. So it has a start point and an end point. It's automatic, so it is triggered by a certain kind of behavior. I'm going to show you that in a minute on this diagram. And because it is a automated sequence, it does need to be built inside of an email service provider. So not Gmail, not Hotmail, not Yahoo, but an email provider. And I use ConvertKit. This is a text-only type email because that's the style that I prefer. I like my emails to look like letters, not like newsletters. And so I use ConvertKit. I'm an affiliate for that. I've been using them for 3 years. So I'll put the link down below if you're interested in learning more about them. Another really good one to look at if you like the template style look is ActiveCampaign. That's the other one that I recommend. But I know many farmers start out with MailChimp. That might be what you have because it's free. Here's the thing, if you want to do nurture sequences that are automatic drip campaigns, you have to upgrade. I'm pretty sure you have to upgrade to a paid version. I know this because I'm a part of the CSA Innovation Network, and I was writing their email sequence, their automatic drip sequence. They didn't have the paid version, and I was trying to write it in there, and I couldn't make it happen. I was trying to do a welcome series for them. And so I had to say, hey, we got to upgrade. We got to pay for the upgrade so that I can even do this. So just be aware that you may have to move up to the next paid level if you want this to be a piece of your program. All right, let me show you how this kind of works. I'm going to pull up my little foam board prop right here. We're going to see how this works. Okay, this is a little weird because I had to flip the camera, and so I feel like everything's backwards. Like when I move my arm to the right, it's going left on the picture, so it's very strange. But this is so you'll be able to read the words. Okay, so this is how it works. There's usually a trigger moment that starts the process going in the automatic campaign. I don't even know if you can read this. This is probably too far away, isn't it? All right, let me scoot it up. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so usually there is a moment like a lead magnet. Someone will download a lead magnet from your, I don't know, maybe you have a post on social, and they'll download that, and that's usually what starts the email sequence. Oh my God, I didn't plan this. This is not well done. Let's start this again. I feel like I need to see you. Okay, so let me put that way up here. Okay, so we have a lead magnet that triggers everything. Another option, if you don't have a lead magnet, is you can actually just add someone manually into your email service provider. So you could say, once you've built your sequence, you can say, hey, I want to add this person to this sequence automatically. So you would go into ConvertKit, you would pull up that person's file, and you would say, add them to XYZ sequence that I've already written. And then it starts firing. That's another way you can do it. But most cases, a lead magnet is downloaded by this person. So I have a harvest calendar, for example, for my CSA, or I have the A to Z vegetable storage guide that's on my website. Someone would download that. And I have a rule set up in ConvertKit that says when someone goes through this form and downloads this lead magnet, start the sequence. Okay, so you can also, as an optional step, then tag them, okay, in your email provider. Don't have to do that, but I find that really helpful. So I create a tag that says, hey, this person is interested in farmer's market or is interested in the CSA, depending on what lead magnet they've downloaded. All right, so you can tag them however you want. This is not necessary. That is also an automation. Okay, then you start writing, then the emails start. So the sequence begins to fire. So you tell your email provider when this lead magnet gets downloaded, tag them and start the sequence, XYZ, whatever you're about to create with me over the next 10 days. And then these emails that you've pre-written will automatically fire. Email number 1 goes out immediately. Email number 2 might go out 7 days later. You get to set the time frame. You tell it, 5 days later, on Mondays, or any day but Sunday. I mean, you can get real specific. Email number 1, 2, 3, 4, then fires over the course of a month's time. Okay? And that's the process. So we start with the lead magnet, or you manually just subscribe them to your sequence. You tag, they get tagged a certain way, and then the emails start firing until they're done. Okay, that is kind of the diagram. And I'm sorry, this is like really hard to see. Okay, but that is the strategy that we're walking through here. So that means that over the next 10 days, we have a few decisions to make. Not only do we need to write those 4 emails in advance, but we need to decide what is the trigger moment that's going to cause all of that to happen. So I just want to hold up this little funnel. I show this sometimes. This is my little coffee funnel. This is this whole thing that we're building right now is a part of your funnel, okay? You are creating an asset that's going to help people as they move into your ecosystem, they fall into your funnel, and they don't know really who you are. They don't know you from Adam. They just know that maybe you sell meat or flowers or vegetables. And if you have a great nurture sequence, you can start giving them content and introducing yourself through these emails. They're going to be interested in it because they downloaded that lead magnet in the first place. And now you're going to start pulling them down into your funnel. They're going to start learning to trust you and know a little bit about who you are. And then eventually later on, once they come out of the nurture sequence, then you can start another thing. You could then maybe pitch them a product. Okay? So the goal of this nurture sequence that we're going to build is not to sell anything, okay? You may not promote stuff in your email sequence. If you do, it's very like subtle, all right? That is not the purpose of this. That is called an email sales sequence. Totally different kind of automation drip campaign. Okay, this is simply to grow a trust factor, no like and trust factor. We want them to get to know you, start to empathize with you, make them feel like, hey, she gets me or he gets me, and I like these people. They're adding value to me, okay? So that's sort of the overview of what this looks like. So all sequences have a trigger moment, and they also have a goal. So we're going to talk about that before I end. At the beginning of this fun little diagram, right, we chatted about the lead magnet. What is it that is going to cause people to fall into this email sequence? That is a decision that we're making today as part of our homework. I need you to be thinking through that. What is the way that I'm going to get people into my automated sequence? Will I simply build the sequence, and then as people give me their email address at the market, when I write it down on that little notebook, I'm going to come home and I'm going to subscribe them to this particular sequence? Is that how you're going to do it? You can do it. I've done that before. Or are you going to build a form of some sort? Do you have a subscribe to my newsletter on your website? Do you have some kind of a better lead magnet, like download my harvest guide that shows you when things are going to be in and when? Then maybe that's when the sequence will fire after someone downloads that. Like, you need to think about what's that trigger moment, okay? I also want you to think about what is the goal. So who am I targeting? Who am I talking to in this email nurture campaign? And I want to kind of share an example with you. Like, I have a lot of different kinds of customers who come into my giant farm ecosystem, okay? Yeah, I'm known for the CSA, like 80-90% of my income comes from the CSA, and that is where I'm really trying to move people eventually to. But I have some people that start out at the farmer's market, and that's actually kind of where people first hear about us or where they want to dabble and try out my product first. I also have people who are avid bulk buyers, who can and who pickle and who freeze, right? So they have a kind of a different style of purchasing and different needs. So if I'm thinking about, I want to create an email nurture sequence, who are you trying to talk to this first time around? Okay. If you're just trying to get to know people, this is the first time they've come into your ecosystem, then maybe we're trying to just get them to just shop at our online store every week and pick up at our pickup sites. Or I just want them to start coming to the farmer's market and trying out my stuff. Like, maybe that is your initial goal of this. So we want to know, where am I taking people so that when they fall out of the nurture sequence and come out of this other side of the funnel, you know what's going to happen kind of next. Like, what is your offer going to be later on? What are you trying to accomplish in this period? How are you trying to warm them up so that later when you talk about a product, it doesn't feel weird? There's alignment, right? So I used to have one of these guys, one of these nurture campaigns that was really all about teaching people how to freeze different kinds of products. And that was the bulk of the educational content in that nurture campaign. And then at the end, I was trying to turn those people into bulk buyers. Now that I had taught them all these ways that they could store up this food, wouldn't they want to go and buy a ton of onions and peppers and tomatoes and so forth, right? So I had a goal in mind. Does that make sense? And so that informed the content for what I taught them and talked about in those emails. So just want you to think about that. All right, so let's wrap up. This challenge's goal for the next 10 days is to write 4 emails. Okay, you will have that done in 10 days. Isn't that exciting? So here is your call to action and your homework for today. If you haven't done so already, I want you to download my swipe file that I talked about at the beginning of the video. Go to mydigitalfarmer.com/nurture. That is my gift to you, and I want you to use it as an example. Read through some of them to get a sense of the style and the way that I write, and pay attention to how it's formatted on the page, like the line breaks, a lot of white space, my voice, how I don't use long paragraphs. Like, look at that stuff too, but also look at the content. It's just really great kind of template for you to look at. You do not have my permission to copy and paste that for your own. Please understand that. Don't do that. but you can certainly take its style and its content and ideas and write it in your own version, okay? But we'll start working on that in a few days. Don't freak out yet. So right now, I just want you to download it. Good? And take a look at it. I also, if you haven't already, would like for you to listen to episode 63 of the My Digital Farmer podcast, because I'm not going to review all that content again in this challenge. So that is another assignment I'm giving you. You can go to mydigitalfarmer.com/63, and that'll take you to the page on my website that has it's the show notes page, and it'll give you the link to the actual episode that you can listen to. And then finally, I want you to identify your trigger moment. Okay, what's the trigger moment going to be? And I want you to identify your goal at the bottom. Where are you taking people? That's all you've got to do today. We're not going to write any emails yet. We're not going to map out a strategy. I just want you to know what's your trigger and what's your goal. All right, that was 4 things. Can you remember all that stuff? So download my Nurture swipe file. Try to listen to the podcast episode 63, and then identify your trigger and your goal of your campaign. Does that make sense? You got it? I think you can do those last 2 in like 5 or 10 minutes. The podcast might take you, it's a 45-minute podcast. So, take a few days, but try to listen to that at some point this week during the challenge, because it's got really good stuff in it. Got it? All right, tomorrow I'm going to be here again, and we are going to talk through those the biggest categories, in my opinion, of the types of email content that you can write. I'm going to brainstorm with you some really good examples and topics that we could talk about in those emails, and then you're going to map out your own strategy for what the heck you might even talk about in those 4 emails. We're going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to give you some really good guidance, okay? But now you know your marching orders for the first day, and I will catch you tomorrow. I'll probably tune in sometime in the morning, 9:30-ish Eastern Standard Time, somewhere around there. Okay, thanks guys. Good luck. And I wanted to say one more thing. If you are watching this and you're like, I do not have time to do this right now, I totally get you. Part of me was like, why am I doing this now? It's like the worst time for farmers. But I want to keep teaching people in this group. So if you can't get to this challenge now, it's okay. These challenges are going to live on in this group. I'm not going to take them. So you can watch this later and do it when it is convenient for you. But I do need you to show up when it's time and you're ready to do this challenge. I need you to commit, and I need you to show up, because you can do this. This is totally doable. 4 emails, guys, and I'm going to be handing stuff to you on a silver platter. All right. So you can write 4 emails in 10 days. And when you have it done, it serves you forever, and it becomes a major asset in your strategy to warm up customers. Okay. So make this a commitment. When you decide I'm going to do this, give me your best for 10 days, because if you do that, you'll get it done. All right? You'll get it done. Cool. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, guys. Bye.